in the age of rising empires and boundless greed, the Lords of Coin sought dominion not only over men but over the earth itself. They were the dukes of oil, the barons of lead, the frackers whose drills sank deep, the smokestack earls whose chimneys blackened the sky. Their wealth was drawn from the veins of the land, their power built upon its ruin. But though their coffers overflowed, one great chain still bound them. Laws that held their hunger at bay, restraints that dared to say, enough. And so, with dark ambition and gilded hands, they forged a weapon to sever those chains. The Sword of Palantir was no mere blade, but something greater, something unseen. It was a weapon of data and decree, a tool to carve the world with ink instead of iron. With it, they would unshackle profit from consequence, industry from oversight, until nothing stood between them and all they desired. But the world was not without its guardian. From the high peaks and roaring storms, the EPA dragon had long watched over land and sky. It was no beast of destruction, but a warden of balance, its emerald eyes keeping the rivers clean and the winds unspoiled. Its breath turned back the tides of poison, its claws held fast the laws that shielded nature from greed's relentless march. "So long as I soar," it warned, "no stream shall rot, no sky shall choke, no hand shall carve unchecked." Against the rising tide of industry, the dragon stood firm, a lone sentinel against the Lords of Coin. But even as it guarded the world, whispers spread in shadowed halls, prophets of profit murmuring that the beast's time was ending, that no guardian could stand forever against the will of those who ruled with wealth. And so, unseen but inevitable, the first strokes of its downfall were already being drawn. In the dim glow of gilded halls where profit was law and greed the creed, the Lords of Coin convened in secret council. Around tables of polished stone they wove their schemes, voices sharp as the quills they wielded. "A beast roosts upon the hill," they seethed. "Its breath is law, its claws are quill. It dares to hinder our divine right to drill by day and burn by night." A musky lord whose rockets had scarred the sky swore a mighty oath. This EPA must fall lest fortune be shackled. And so, with torches raised and coffers brimming, they rode forth. Not with swords, but with golden tributes, seeking a king who would heed their woe and strike down the guardian of land and air. To do this, they sought the favor of the crooked king, a ruler enthroned upon gold, whose fingers itched for more. They came bearing gifts, coffers heavy with coin, and in his ear they poured their venom. "This dragon stands between thee and thy rightful kingdom," they told him. "It strangles growth, it binds thy hand. Cast it down and fortune shall flow unchained." The king, though slow of wit, was sharp in greed. Seeing in their words a chance to mask his hunger as noble cause, he declared the dragon an enemy of the realm. And so, with a decree veiled in false virtue, he summoned forth the Broligarchs, lords of finance and deception, to slay the beast with quill and contract. The battle was not fought with sword or fire, but with paper and ink. The Lords of Coin unleashed the full might of the Sword of Palantir, wielding data as their weapon, laws as their blade. "Efficiency," the sword sang, and the dragon's wings were clipped. "Deregulation," it whispered, and its breath was stilled. The beast roared in defiance, warning of the doom to come. But the lords did not hear. Line by line, rule by rule, they stripped its power, until at last, with one final stroke, the guardian fell silent. The lords cheered, the king feasted, and the world was theirs to claim. With no dragon left to guard the land, the Lords of Coin set upon it like wolves upon a carcass. The rivers once shielded were drained and poisoned. The forests once protected were felled without restraint. The sky, once clear beneath the dragon's watch, darkened with smoke. And yet, as the gold piled high and their ledgers swelled, they saw not the gathering storm. They had slain their warden, but in doing so, they had shattered the balance that kept the world whole. Thus did the Lords of Coin, once masters of a world they believed theirs to command, stand amidst the wreckage of their triumph. They had slain the guardian, unbound their chains, and feasted upon the spoils, only to find their empire built on ruin. The rivers they unshackled ran bitter, the forests they felled left the air thin, and the sky, once limitless, pressed upon them like a tomb. Gold could not quench thirst, nor mend the scorched earth, nor buy back the breath of the dragon they had silenced. And as the storm raged, as fire and flood reclaimed what had been lost, the truth was laid bare. They had not slain the beast, only unmade the balance that kept the world whole. Now, with wealth as worthless as the dust beneath their feet, they stood alone, lords of nothing, kings of ash,